Okay, hi, welcome to the channel. So today I want to go through the equipment I would take for day hiking and going out with a rucksack just for a day, nice long walk. Yeah, what I pack in my day pack. Let's get into it. So I'll just take a knee. We've got firstly is our water supply. So I'm using the cola bottles. If you watch the other videos, you'll see the reasons why on this. They weigh 77 grams empty. They carry a litre of fuel, a litre of water. Absolutely brilliant. I'm also carrying an aluminium one. I don't know why today. This actually is 135 grams when empty, carries a litre of water. It's just what I picked up this morning. What I have found with water bottles, it depends on your personal fitness and what you're ready to do and what your body needs. But I found one bottle of water will last me about 10 kilometers as long as I'm not going over 300 meters in elevation gain. Obviously it gets harder the higher you go, the more meters you're going up. So one bottle of water will last me about 10 kilometers and 300 meters elevation gain. If I'm going any further, I definitely need 2 bottles. Into the top, or what I pack in the top of the rucksack. Firstly, some cash. I've got a 20 euro note in there. I've got my credit card just in case there's anything out there I want to buy or I see anything nice. And I've got my identity card. We also have carrying a lot of camera equipment when I go out just to make these videos for everyone. And in here I have my camera batteries and 2 spare batteries and 1 in the camera. And the great thing about this little thing is I can use it as a power bank as well if I'm getting desperately short of power. Good little bit kit that. Got my glasses case, super lightweight, just strong enough to hold the glasses and not break them. And I've also got my little action camera case there. If I have it, I will carry the local map of the area where I'm going, just as a backup. But I just like the paper maps. I like having that security system. I also like looking at the map first to find out where I'm going on that trail, see if there's anything interesting just off the trail that I want to have a look at. In my main compartment, what I have firstly accessible is a warm jacket. Weather changes here in Germany quite a lot. I've also spent a long time on Dartmoor. The weather changes there incredibly fast. And I like being able to get to my warm jacket. So this will be at the top of my inner pack. Also got a water replenishment system. I've got the 2 bottles, but also I've got a mini well filter, like a Sawyer filter as well. I just carry just in case I'm running out of water and I'm desperate for some more. Plus, if anything happens, you know, an injury or an accident or anything, I've got access to more water just to keep us hydrated and keep going. Also have in here, this is my power bank. This is a Nightcore 10,000 milliamp hour. It's still quite heavy, but that comes down to battery power and always having to carry batteries. They're always quite heavy. You think of buying a packet of batteries in the supermarket, they're actually quite heavy. This is a lightweight one and does the job. 10,000 milliamp hours. I can charge my phone 2 to 3 times on it, and it just works. It's nice to have a backup in there. Plus I've got the backup with the camera's batteries. Like I said, I can use that as a power bank. I also take my cooking stove system. So what we have in here, let's quickly get it out. So we have our gas canister. For a day hike, this is a bit too much, but actually there's not much fuel in it, and I have actually weighed this. I know how many times I can cook some coffees and things like that. So you can get smaller ones than that, just for a day hike. Pop one in there, you've always got access to a hot meal. Then I've got my Tokes pot, my titanium pot, 750 milliliter pot. Inside of this, I'm not going to get it out now, is my little burner which connects to the top of that. And I can fill this up with water, get a nice cup of coffee. Also I have the ability to cook something if I need to then. So that's my cooker. I always take it on a day hike because I like stopping for a coffee now and then and just enjoy myself outside, seeing a bit of nature. Stove, have my sandwiches for the day. Always take some sandwiches, love a bit of a sandwich stop. And then I have some rations in here. I only use a small bag of rations on a day hike. There's no reason to take too much. So I have some sweets, some little treats to keep me going. I have, and I use these in getting a bit cold or anything. I've got some of these ramen noodles in a packet. I can use my stove to cook them up. And I've also got coffee packets in here, some power bars, and some Dextro energy tablets. So that's my food. Now, when we're talking about food on a day hike, take what you'd normally take, you know? So what you're normally having for lunch, a sandwich or something like that, have that, take that with you, get a nice little box for your sandwiches, add about half again what you'd normally have. You're going to be active, you're outside, you're enjoying nature, you might be colder than just sitting in your room or in your office, so take an extra half of what you'd normally have for lunch. That is about a really rough guide on how much food you'd have for the day. So that's my food. Now we're getting on to a little comfort item here. This is a super lightweight fold out pad that I can just have a sit down with if I like. You know, saves my bum getting wet when I sit on a cold seat. And it's just super comfy to have, nice little thing. This actually weighs 24 grams. It weighs literally nothing, and I put it in my rucksack. Somewhere to sit if I'm gonna sit down for a little while, or if I'm gonna make a coffee. Now we're getting into the emergency stuff. This is my normal first aid kit. It is exactly the same first aid kit I would take on a 6-day hike or anything overnight. I like having the full first aid kit. It is a cut down version of the ones that you buy online, but it has everything I need, and I've had 30 years of experience putting this together, so I know it's exactly what I need. Nothing more, nothing less. In here, we have some electrolyte fluids, a small sewing kit. I have some zinc oxide tape for my feet if I'm getting hot spots or blisters. I have some Vaseline for in between my toes to stop them rubbing. And I also have a foil blanket here, just in case anything untoward happens. My pet hate on the treks and trails is seeing rubbish by the side of it. I absolutely hate it. Please take your rubbish with you. Even if you're a smoker, please take your cigarette butts with you. Apple cores, banana skins, even things like that that you know are going to decompost and just go back to the earth. If they're not natural to that area, what you end up doing is you can break down the biodiversity of the plants in the area. So a banana or an apple gets into the ground, then ruins the local wildlife, nature, trees, things like that. So take some bin bags with you. I always carry 2 or 3. I collect some rubbish if I see it, just because I'm a nice human being, I guess. But also I carry everything, so my ramen noodles packets, my coffee packets, put them in here and just carry it out with you. So some bin bags. I've got now just some thin gloves. Hands get cold. Like the longer and longer you go, you start to feel more of the cold. So I've got some thin gloves in there, and I've also got, I think it's a buff headscarf sort of thing that you put around your neck and that you can put over your mouth and nose and stuff. Keep yourself a bit warmer when you go outside. That's just if we need it. Rain kit, I have a full rain jacket. It's a super lightweight one. This is a very cheap one. It's 10,000 millimeter waterproofing on it. Just chuck it in your backpack for the day. You've got some waterproofs with you. And also, I always carry rain trousers. So rain jacket, rain trousers. Like I said before, I've been on Dartmoor quite a lot, and the weather changes there instantly. There are horror stories of people going out for a day on Snowdon or going out for a day on Dartmoor and ending up dying because the weather changed so fast and they just didn't have enough security equipment with them. Always take it with you. Yeah, I don't want to sound dramatic or anything like that. Always carry a rain jacket, always carry some rain bottoms. Yeah. Now we're getting into the little bits. Compass is my backup with my map. I can navigate, get myself out of where I need to be, get myself to safety, and know where I am and enjoy using that. Power bar, just for some energy on my hip belt, and then my phone. So my phone has some of the apps on it for the maps. I have the backup for the phone with the power bank, and I also have the backup for the phone with the map. It's all good stuff, and you should be completely safe and completely comfortable with this for a day out. Now, quick note on going out for the day. I know it's only a day. Tell people where you're going. That way, if a case of emergency happens or you're not back by a certain time, they can call you and see where you are. Also, if you've got no signal and you're not back by that time, then after a certain amount of time, arrange with that person you've told you've gone out for the day to start phoning mountain rescue. Depending on the area you're going, contact the police, say what area you're in, they will send out a search party to look for you. Firstly though, you want to be self-sufficient. You want to look after yourself in the nature and on your day hike. So you have a phone, signal on it. Hopefully you can phone people with the signal. You have a backup to that with your power banks. You also have your map, just in case you've got no signal. You can rely on your map, get yourself out of trouble. Now let's go through just how we pack the bag. It's going to be nice and quick because it's very easy, and I've laid this out ready to do this. This is a 34 litre Deuter bag I use quite a lot. What I like about it is it has this compartment at the bottom, and in the compartment in the bottom you usually pack your sleeping bag. Now on a day hike you don't need a sleeping bag, so what I do, firstly put my first aid kit in there, right at the back so it's near my back so it doesn't hold any weight. That's the heaviest thing I'm putting in there, so put it next to your back or as close to your back as possible. I put my bin bags in there as well. I put my waterproofs in there, nicely rolled up. You can save space by rolling your kit instead of trying to fold it and everything. And I stuff my buff and my headscarf in there. Always on my left hand side, and I just get it in my head so I know where everything is without kind of having to think about it. Left hand side I put my compass in my hip belt there, nicely zipped up. On my right hand side, on my hip belt, my protein bar and my phone goes in there. Just so it's nice and handy if you see anything on the trails you want to take a picture of. You've got your mobile phone on your hip belt ready to take out. Now, the first thing I pack into here is this little foam pad. It's nice and super lightweight, so it goes to the outside of the pack, and then I slide. I've actually got a little one of these Camelback sort of holders, you know, these hydration system holders in here. And what I actually use them for, because I don't like the hydration systems, is I use that for any electronic equipment I don't regularly need, but keep the weight because electronic equipment's heavy. Keep that right next to my back, and I put that in my Camelback area. Then I put my stove in, so this goes at the bottom. I only need that if I'm stopping for a long time and making a coffee, so keep the weight next to your back, but it can go at the bottom because I don't need it that much. Alongside that, straight next to my back again, is my water filter. Then my sandwich box, anything that crushes and things. You look after your food, put them in boxes so they don't crush and they don't get damaged and you can't eat them. And then I put my food nicely in there. On top of that is my warm jacket, just in case it gets cold, weather starts to turn, or I'm just feeling the cold and I've stopped. Put my warm jacket right at the top, nice and easy where I can get to it. In the top of this lid of the actual rucksack, I've got this nice little zipped pocket, and this is for things that I don't really need to grab hold of straight away, but I want to keep out of the way of everything else. So my little wallet goes in there, nobody can see it. I've also got me in my pocket, whoops. My car keys go in there, know where they are, nice and safe. Now we do up all the straps here, and we just comfortably cinch this down nice and gently, just so it's tight, not so it's compressed all the way. So nice and tight there. And now I've got my lid, where what I carry in my lid is my incredibly heavy stuff that I need to get to fast. So my camera systems go in here, my camera batteries go in here as well, just in case I need to change them out fast. My map will go in here so I know where it is at the top all the time, and my glasses case goes in here. That is my backpack almost packed. On the sides, in these stretchy little panels, we've got our water bottles, they go in, and one on the other side just to balance the weight out. that's it. Now, before we go backpacking, what I like to do is just make sure all the straps are nice and tidy. If you can get them all tidied away, they're not going to swing around, they're not going to hit you in the face, you're not going to be uncomfortable, and it's not going to make a bouncy kind of slap noise every time you walk. So I just go around, check all my straps, tuck them in where possible, and that's me ready for my day hike. Anyway, if this helps you, like, subscribe, make a comment, see if there's anything you recommend as well, chuck it in the comments below. And that is our day pack for going hiking.